My son, who we adopted when he was 2 months old, he has fetal alcohol syndrome. And so that looks very much like autism. He has brain damage due to the alcohol consumption. Um, and he had a really rough and rocky road till he was about 6 years old. Medically, we had a lot of issues, in and out of the hospital. And so I learned how to be an advocate for this kid, like very early on at infant stage. As a 4-month old, he was going into surgery already. So I knew I had to be an advocate for him. And then all of a sudden, his mental health just tanked. Like all of a sudden, to me. To him, he probably wouldn't tell you the same story, but to me, it was all of a sudden. And he was just having these just heavy, heavy loads of anxiety and depression. We call it the deep dark holes that he went to. And we started seeing mental health providers, and they all kept telling me the same thing, that it was due to his brain damage. And I kept saying, but I wonder if there's a gender issue here. And they'd say, no, 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 no. He's just confused about his gender. And so I bought that for a long time. For 2.5 years, I bought that. And in those 2.5 years, my child started self-harming. He became suicidal. He made attempts. He used to regularly, I did not know this for a long time, he used to regularly take my husband's shoes and pound his breast tissue. I'm a boy. He didn't have the language. He didn't have the understanding of himself. But we found out after transition, he told me many times, he had a cousin a year older and a year younger, and who lived very close. And he said, I would watch them and I would do exactly what my cousins would do. And I couldn't understand why people still wouldn't see me as a boy. I was doing exactly the same thing. We used to dress them all the same. They always had matching PJs. But yet my son was never spoken to in the same way. So when he was 11, I found the word transgender, because it just wasn't 8 years ago. It was not the term that it is today. Medical and mental health providers did not have that information 8 years ago, and was finally able to get it. And so I was doing all of that. At the same time, I was still advocating for my son. So my son started hormone blockers at 11. He started testosterone at 13. He got top surgery at 14. And he is totally fine with me sharing all this information. He would come sit with me, but he's in his youth group meeting tonight, so he wasn't giving that up. And just on Friday, he had a hysterectomy, which for him was the next step. He's now 19 and felt like that was the right thing to do. In the last 2 months, I have taken on 65 new families that we're working with on their insurance issues. I am currently working with folks in the state of California's insurance commissioner office, Ricardo Laura, right now, in trying to get some policy changes on his end for taking, this is being recorded, but hopefully it won't go too far, for taking the age limit out of predetermination for care for trans minors. So that would, all these hurdles, I don't know if anybody's had the hurdle of trying to get top surgery for your minor trans masculine person, systems, so that I'm not just doing the same. I'd love to work my way out of not having work. I guess that's the best way to put it. I want to keep doing this one person at a time. I want to do this many people at a time. So we've had a lot of really great success with, insurance stuff. We've had great success with, I work with a lot of youth before they tell their families, and helping them in shaping what that looks like, helping them to get, maybe there's an auntie or an uncle or a cousin that they think might be more affirming, that you can tell them first and have them be an ally in the family when you tell your parent.